Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your boy Foots the King. I'm feeling really, really good. Like, first of all, just being able to wake up in the morning, all right, at work, but thankful to have a job. Like, don't take waking up for granted. Don't, I feel like somebody might have needed to hear that, but don't take waking up for granted. Don't take being able to, watch the Cowboys and do the things you love, man, all that good stuff. So, there's not really much that I'm ever mad about in the morning. The morning is the time to correct all your wrongs, wake up, pray, all that good stuff. So, anyway, we're here now, all right? The Cowboys are 8-5, really on the cusp of it's very realistic that the Cowboys could win out, go 11-5. At the worst, I have them finishing 10-6. I think that they'll play the rest of their schedule strong, and obviously you'll be in the playoffs. And I'm not even going to get into playoff talk right now. I'm going to live in the moment. I didn't want to get into draft talk when we were 3-5. I don't want to get into playoff talk right now until the time does officially come. But I say all of that to say, all right, as I do this delivery, Cowboys fans, we owe Jason Garrett an apology. And I say we because I include myself in that we. All right. There was a point in time when Jason Garrett was widely known as the clapper, or, just standing on the sideline, and while some of that may be true, while you rarely see Jason Garrett do a lot of in-game coaching, meaning, calling plays, or it doesn't look like he's doing much. I have a couple questions, Cowboys fans. Why won't this team quit on Garrett? All right, so you're 3-5. You're heading to Philly, primetime game, and you go to Philly and you really, dare I say, dominate Philly. All right, so you dominate Philly. Okay. Had every opportunity to quit, but you didn't. Okay, the worst game this year to me was the Titans game. And that was just a game where it was an uncommon opponent, and I just said, man, they started strong, but they didn't keep their head on their foot on their neck. The neck on their foot, whatever the saying is. But why won't this team quit on Jason Garrett? I'll tell you why. He's a player's coach. And when you think about, okay, Amari Cooper, you bring in Amari Cooper, and everybody but me, I'll be honest, everybody but me, there may have been a few people out here, but everybody but me thought that was a bad pick. I pick up, acquiring, whatever. You're obviously, you have to sign him now. But does Jason Garrett get any credit for his relationship with Nick Saban, a guy who, it also took a little bit of time to get his career really, really off the ground and really, really to be that legendary Alabama machine that he is right now? All right? Does Jason Garrett get any credit for his relationship with Nick? Hey, Nick, this Amari Cooper, tell me, is he a bad kid? Is it Oakland? Is he, I mean, what am I getting with Amari Cooper? Because, I got to save my job. Jason Garrett had to save his job, all right? Who knows who forced the dead situation on Garrett? Was it a collective agreement? Was it, because you got to also understand, guys, and you Cowboys fans out there who are older than me, right? You guys know the history of the owner and the coach. You can't have the guy that you want. I would love to have a Bill Parcells type, a Jimmy Johnson type, a Bill Belichick type, somebody who has their hands on everything. But with this owner, with this regime, and it's probably going to be like that with his son, even though Steven's a little bit better, you ain't going to get it. Jerry is out front. That's why he has a post. Other owners hate it, but he has a press conference he got reporters around him. We listen to what Jerry says. And you know what? Being a Cowboys fan, that's the price you pay. But look at the Redskins. I'm in D.C. right now, and just look at that organization as a whole. They're such copycats. They try to, let's snag Reuben Foster. Terrible move. Let's bring in a Jay Gruden. I don't think he's had maybe like one winning season. So, when you play the comparison game, Jason Garrett's record is 73-60. It's not the best, but it damn sure could be worse. I'm telling you, it could be worse. So, why do we owe Jason Garrett an apology? Well, I just told you they wouldn't quit. They were 3-5. You rip off 5 straight wins, all right? So you play Washington on Thanksgiving. You smoke them. You play the Eagles. You beat the brakes off them. The Atlanta game, you go to Atlanta. Ooh, I know Jerry Jones was happy to beat Arthur Blank. The same Arthur Blank that, being honest, doesn't really like Jerry Jones. So you go to their place, you beat them. And then you come back and you beat Philly again. Special. And we look at a lot of things when it comes to Dak. And you guys will say I'm a Dak hater, and the Cowboys need to do more with Dak, and they need to call better plays. Well, listen, I like what Linehan's been doing. And if any of you guys have ever coached, if you've ever dealt with anything where you had to put somebody in a position to be successful, whether it was, a soccer team, or whether it was a Pee Wee football team or a basketball team, you kind of understand what your personnel can do. So I see a lot of times that, we need to call these certain plays for Dak and do. Listen, this coaching staff is maximizing Dak's potential, because clearly, and this is not a knock, this is the realistic fan, sports evaluator in me, Dak still needs to grow in a lot of areas. His feet are terrible a lot of times. That's not coaching. That's Dak just having the mental wherewithal to say, I need to set my feet every throw I make. He still doesn't read coverages quite that well, but he's a gamer and he's a great leader, and nothing shakes him. And you know what? He does deserve a lot of credit for that. But I'm not going to always scapegoat coaching, all right? So we can call him Clapper, but in the same breath that you call him Clapper, you better give him some damn credit, all right? I see a lot of quitting going on around this NFL, all right? Let's take the Skins again. Talking about Alex Smith's injury, I know that put the nail in the coffin. The Skins were done, period. That team doesn't tackle well. That team doesn't play hard. The one thing that you could say about the Cowboys is they're never unprepared. They're never unprepared. Does Jason Garrett get any credit for beating the brakes off Sean Payton? Everybody picked the Saints. Jason Garrett and that coaching staff knew the Saints' every move. They played chess and they outcoached them. Jason Garrett, the Doug Peterson that everybody likes, who takes all these chances. Jason Garrett just outcoached Doug Peterson. I've tweeted it. Jason Garrett has outcoached some great coaches this year, right? His worst performance was probably the Titans game. But other than that, this team just hasn't quit. They've been up for every single game. And for that, Cowboys fans, we owe Jason Garrett an apology. I owe him an apology. All right? Thinking about Dak, Tony, and some of the decisions that Jason has had to make that may have been his decisions, may have not. Jason said, mid-season, I'm taking control of this. If I'm going to go out, damn it, give me a player that I can go out with. He went out. That decision to get Amari Cooper had Jason Garrett's name tied to it. If it doesn't work, bye. There were talks. Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma coach, we want you to be our coach. That was, I'm pretty sure Jerry had already ordered that hit. Let's give Jason a chance. And wouldn't you know it, the Red Rifle, these players will not quit on Jason Garrett, yo. I'm sorry. As cliche as he is, as boring as he is, the clapper that he is, he's smiling, they won't quit. Let's think about John Gruden for a second. John Gruden, Chucky, whatever. He knows so much about football. He's a great talent evaluator. Really? So, Khalil Mack, a possible defensive player of the year. He's not in Oakland anymore. For what reason? So you're trading away personnel that can play for personnel that you think you're going to get, but you've never been a great talent evaluator because you didn't evaluate talent great in Oakland the first time and you messed up Tony Dungy's team. Okay, so you trade away Khalil Mack, John Gruden, and you trade away Amari Cooper. The same Amari Cooper who's had now not one but two 200-yard games. All right? So Amari Cooper just couldn't play overnight. Have you looked at the wide receivers coming out in this draft class? So you give away a guy for a first-round pick. I get it. Everybody wants to look to the draft. Great. Okay. So now the Oakland Raiders are going to be getting, there's only about 23 first-round picks, first-round grades, maybe 20. Dallas will probably be picking in the back half of the draft. So you got a second-round pick. Cool. But are you going to develop him into something that Amari Cooper is? Amari Cooper has elite talent. You know what? The Raiders botched that. Why? Because you have a headstrong coach in John Gruden who, while Amari doesn't need to be coddled, we can all tell that he's a different player. After a touchdown, he just gives the ball to the ref. After his second touchdown, he just gives the ball to the ref. He's a team player, but he's not a me guy. But you can't coach everybody the same. Jason Garrett understands that. Hey, Amari, you fumbled, get it back next time, bro. That's it. And Jason, for some reason, guys, Cowboys fans, this team, these players respond to Jason Garrett. You get a guy in here who's too headstrong, it could go south. You get a guy in here who doesn't have a good relationship with his quarterback and they just are all over the place, i.e. McCarthy and A-Rod, who I think some of that is on A-Rod, who thinks he knows, can rewrite the book on football, but things can go south. You get a guy like Jay Gruden who, I don't think he's a player's coach or, that stern guy. I don't know what he is. Things can go south. I got to give Jason Garrett some credit for it. If nothing else, this team was 3-5. They're 8-5. A lot of credit's been going around. I'm going to look myself in the mirror and say, for some reason, this team won't quit on Garrett. Made some big calls this week against Philly. I made some big calls. All right, Cowboys fans, it's your boy, Foots the King. I sent out the merch. Make sure you guys hit me up on the Instagram, the Twitter, @Foots the King. I love y'all, man. I love talking ball. I'm going to talk some Colts either tonight or tomorrow. All right, peace.